Race 2 of the 2025 Pirelli Portuguese round. Good start from Toprak Razgatlioglu this time, but Nicolo Bulega pulls alongside him in the run down towards turn 1. Alvaro Bautista with company on his outside from Andrea Locatelli, but he manages to claim the place. Good start from Andrea Iannone. You can see the yellow bike sliding between the two Hondas as they make their way into turn 3. That could be as high as 7th position here for Andrea Iannone, starting well down the field. So it's Bulega who leads from Razgatlioglu, from Bautista, from Locatelli. Michael van der Mark with a decent jump, and Remy Gardner up with him there in 6th position as they make their way through turn 5 on lap number 1.
Really bad opening laps for Sam Lowes and also Danilo Petrucci. It looked like one of them might have been going a little bit at the start and then had to stop, and both of them ended up falling all the way down the order, so we'll see what they can do. But Petrucci down in 17th now, having been up there on the second row of the grid.
Yes, and Sam Lowes tumbling down to 12th also on that second row, so Locatelli's the one who's got away scot-free for the moment. You can see them coming over the crest of the hill, and that's where you get an indication of how far back down the order. There's Sam Lowes, and 2 places behind him now Petrucci. So Petrucci has started to make ground. Lowes about to lose another place though. Sam Lowes really struggling at this stage. We have had news though of a double long lap penalty for Andrea Iannone, so no wonder he was able to make so much progress right from the very start. And that's a jump start for Andrea Iannone, and so 2 long lap penalties. That's what, 6 seconds for Iannone that he's going to lose.
It's starting to stretch out a little bit. The big crash in the back, though, up at turn 13. We'll have to wait and see who that is. It looked like it might have been someone like Tito Rabat or Bahattin Sofoglu.
Andrea Iannone just completing the first of his 2 long lap penalties for a jump start in this race 2, and that drops him all the way down from 8th position to 13th, right into the path of Scott Redding, who has had a miserable start to this race once again. Lap number 5, and Tito Rabat crushing out on lap 4.
Yeah, just tucking the front there for Rabat and out of the race. And tough start to the season for Tito. Did score points in Australia, but for Rabat, he's down and out of race 2 here, and that's Xavi Vierge, it looks like.
Very unfortunate indeed, because Honda have had a great start to this weekend, but Vierge from 6th position tumbling out. So everyone's trying to push on in the first quarter of this race 2, and we've had a couple of victims already.
O'Halloran that's gone down. It looks like a turn 1, so that's a pretty fast place to come off there for the old show.
Substitute rider for Jonathan Ray this weekend as a round of attrition, hasn't it? Steve, we've got a red flag come out. So as they make their way onto the start-finish straight, we did still have half the race remaining. So a stoppage that's going to temporarily stop race 2 here this afternoon in Portimao.
A red flag shown due to track conditions after Jason O'Halloran's crash. The Australian was back in the Yamaha box following the incident, and there was an 11-lap restart to come for the World Superbike grid. Grid positions for the restarted race were based on the last timekeeping point for each rider, meaning Nicolo Bulega would lead away Toprak Razgatlioglu and Alvaro Bautista over an 11-lap dash.
Take 2 on race 2 of the Pirelli Portuguese round. We are underway. Flying start from Andrea Locatelli. Bautista's rather missed it. He is on the inside though, heading in towards turn number 1. Van der Mark on the outside of him. Let's see how they filter through. Bautista holding on for 4th position, so up ahead of Michael van der Mark, but it's Locatelli who's made the ground, and in fact he's in front of Toprak Razgatlioglu as well as they make their way towards turn 3. Lecuona on the inside of van der Mark trying to get through, couldn't get alongside in the end, the Honda man, but he is up ahead of Remy Gardner. Iannone going well early on, he's up in P8 as Toprak Razgatlioglu tries to get back in front of his former Yamaha teammate Andrea Locatelli, making the early progress just as he did in the initial running of race 1 yesterday.
Yeah, and you can see there for Locatelli, great start on the Yamaha and able to hold on to that 2nd position. Toprak's going to attack him down the straight at the end of this lap or up into turn 13, but really good effort from Locatelli all the way through this weekend. He's been one of the star performers.
As you can see, Andrea Iannone on your screens has made his way up into 8th position, but he's not going to stay there. He has indeed been given a ride-through penalty for missing the second part of his long lap penalty. So that's effectively going to end his race, and very disappointing for Andrea Iannone. The best we've seen from him all weekend long in terms of pace in the initial running of this one.
He had 5 laps to take the penalty, he didn't, and now he ends up without any points in race 2.
Iannone then will be out of the reckoning here. As we see on your screen, Alex Lowe's has come down on lap 1 of the 11 in this restart, and that's a real shame for Alex Lowe's because he'd done such good work to get himself into a position for the restart.
That's a turn 12 crash, it looks like there for Lowe's, and that is a fast place. That's the bottom of the hill, and then the left-hander.
Toprak Razgatlioglu trying to recover second place from Andrea Locatelli at the start of lap 2. Didn't take him long yesterday in race 1 either, but it's even quicker in race 2. Locatelli then pushed back to third place. Then it's Alvaro Bautista in fourth and Van der Mark in fifth. So Locatelli providing the action early doors. He made the fastest start. He was through on Razgatlioglu, but he's settling back now into third place. This is Andrea Iannone coming into the pits to serve his ride-through penalty. He is gesticulating and frustrated about that because it rules him totally out of contention. It's unlikely that he's going to score now in race 2, barring plenty of attrition. Lap 3, Razgatlioglu to the inside of Bulega, Bautista to the inside of Locatelli. Razgatlioglu makes his move later, but he is through. It is Toprak Razgatlioglu who leads on lap 3 from Nicolo Bulega in second place. Then it's Alvaro Bautista in third and Andrea Locatelli relegated to fourth. So this is the closest Alvaro Bautista has been to his teammate. Nicolo Bulega off the final turn at the end of lap 3 to take the lead from Toprak Razgatlioglu and sweeps across his path. Toprak will try to answer straight back through turn 2, but there's not quite enough room there, and Razgatlioglu visibly had to bail out of that. Nicolo Bulega then covering the inside line into turn 3. These two, as they scrap with one another, are keeping Alvaro Bautista right in contention. Now that Bautista's through on Locatelli, though, Locatelli began to drop back at the end of lap 3. And Locatelli now half a second down on Bautista, the man who's making progress. Fastest of the lead 3 last time around.
See the Bulega with a mistake.
Ooh. Nicolo Bulega runs wide and Toprak Razgatlioglu punishes him for it severely. Bulega wants to answer back immediately. Toprak turns in, they're going to go side by side and Bulega runs him out. And Nicolo Bulega holding on valiantly. It's lap 6 of only 11, of course, in the restart. And this will be Bulega's saving grace. The end of the lap where he'll hope to sprint clear coming off the final turn. But is Toprak Razgatlioglu close enough to get a little bit of slipstream and outbrake Bulega in towards turn 1 at the start of lap 7? Less than 0.2 of a second between them over the line. Bulega holds on into the start of lap number 7.
This is where we saw the moment last time around for Bulega. Through the first of these left-handers, the rear end slided and slipped again there. And for him, it's created the chance for Toprak.
It's going to be turn 13 for Toprak Razgatlioglu now on lap 7. And Nicolo Bulega finds himself behind again, finds himself trying to respond again into turn 14. Toprak this time with the cutback. Last time Bulega was able to run him wide. Razgatlioglu this time was wise to that manoeuvre. Now off the final turn at the end of lap 7. It's up to Bulega to get his wheels in line early and to power back alongside Razgatlioglu before that heavy braking zone in towards turn 1. 969 metres. This start-finish straight in the Algarve International Circuit, and Bulega has used it to good effect. Back through on Razgatlioglu once again at the start of lap 8.
Yeah.
He's wide though again into turn 1, and it's Razgatlioglu now with the momentum into turn 3. Slowest corner on the circuit, heavy braking to 55 kilometres per hour, and Razgatlioglu gets it stopped, and again these two are swapping and changing places, just they did in race 1 yesterday afternoon. Now it's the run to turn 5, the last of the conventional overtaking hotspots on this circuit, and Razgatlioglu holds on to the race lead on lap 8. As he sweeps across the path of Razgatlioglu, but Toprak now it is who has the inside. They'll go bar to bar yet again, and it's Razgatlioglu who eases Bulega wide at the first bend. Nicolo Bulega not close enough back into turn 3.
Yeah, and you can see there for Toprak again, the front end sliding, just trying to get that bike stopped into turn 3. If you make the move early like Bulega did, you have to then understand Toprak's always going to come back to you. It's so tricky for Nico Bulega to make that move clean unless he makes it right there on the inside line like Razgatlioglu was into turn 1. You can see Bulega just keeping that pressure on now. He's pulled back a couple of tenths of a second on this lap, but we saw in both races so far this weekend he was a lot closer coming out of turn 14 where he took it down to the line.
As they make their way through the final turns then, this will not be good enough for Nicolo Bulega. Bulega is unable to win in Portimao once again. It's a second consecutive hat-trick at this venue for Toprak Razgatlioglu. Bulega wins 3 in Australia. Razgatlioglu wins 3 in Portugal. And it's Alvaro Bautista who takes the final step on the podium ahead of Andrea Locatelli. Super weekend from the Yamaha man. 3 top 5 finishes for him. Van der Mark finishes on a high, his best result. So good points for BMW Motorrad this weekend. Petrucci top independent 6th. Bassani, that's a great result for him and Bamota P7 ahead of Lecuona, Egata and Montella rounding out your top 10. Last of the scoring finishers just making their way through. Scott Redding as he collects a consolation point, denying Zaidi, who will be the only other rider who didn't get up to any mischief during that race too. It was one of attrition rather, to say the least. But Toprak Razgatlioglu, the weekend belongs to him.